Only 3 of us left on the ship. When the next man goes, I'll know who it is.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're looking at the most haunting mysteries in history, many of which are unlikely to ever be solved.
These were, after all, kids. Capable kids, but not above making a mistake in an unforgiving frontier.
Number 10. Kentucky Meat Shower.
Mrs. Crouch and Mr. Crouch were quoted to saying they thought it was a sign from God. It quickly, for them, was solved in that way.
Kentucky is best known worldwide for its fried chicken, which comes from farmed chickens, but you'd be forgiven for wondering if it came from the sky. In 1876, the state had an extremely bizarre storm of red meat. No one has any idea what type of meat it was or where it came from.
You may have seen a meteor shower, but you've never seen a shower meatier than this.
It lasted only a few minutes, with not a cloud in the sky, landing near the house of Alan Crouch. The pieces were around 2 by 2 inches, supposedly tasting like venison or mutton. Some thought it was bacteria, others claimed it was buzzard vomit. The latter is favored, since they all disgorged together as a defense mechanism.
DNA testing of the meat has been inconclusive. Theories range from winds picking up small fish and frogs to vultures regurgitating meals.
Yuck.
Number 9. Count of St.Germain. No one knows where he came from, but according to him, the Count was over 500 years old, maybe even 2 millennia old. Voltaire called him the Wonder Man, and he was famous for knowing alchemy and magic. He also said he'd seen Jesus turn water into wine, with other tall tales that made him highly agreeable with high society.
I liked and admired the man. In his way, he was brilliant, a scientist and a historian.
He was a talented musician, philosopher, and could even create gemstones. He also told one of his closest friends that he was the son of Francis II Rakowski, making him 93 when he died. Most of what he said was probably made up, but people claim he's still alive. Was he a spy or simply a commoner? No one will ever know. Number 8. The Legend of the Bell Witch.
To many, the story of the Bell Witch is history and folklore. The legend is taught in many elementary history classes in Tennessee. To others, it's a terrifying tale of a sinister poltergeist.
One of America's most famous hauntings happened from 1817 to 1821 in Robertson County, Tennessee. Legend says the area and home of farmer John Bell were attacked by an invisible entity which could hauntingly shapeshift. Bell and his daughter were the primary targets, but numerous folk in the area reported sightings, even their slaves. One man named William Porter tried to throw it in the fire, but it was too heavy and repugnant. John Bell died in 1820, and the hauntings began to subside after.
On December 20th, 1820, John Bell died when the family found a mysterious black liquid in a vial near his body. When the Bell Witch spoke in a disembodied voice, "I gave old Jack a big dose of that last night, which fixed him."
Many logical explanations have since been proposed, like his daughter suffering sleep paralysis, natural causes, or even a hoax. It's widely been embellished over time, so separating fact from fiction is nigh impossible. Number 7. The haunted Chateau de Brissac. This beautiful chateau is France's tallest, and potentially its most haunted, with only one ghost. Her name was Charlotte de Brézy, the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII. She ended up marrying Jacques de Brézy, who killed her after finding her sleeping with a huntsman. Soon after, he fled the castle because he was terrified of the ghosts. Charlotte always wears a green dress, giving her the name the Green Lady, or La Dame Verte. She is spotted most frequently at the chapel, with holes instead of eyes and a nose, usually in the morning. Logical explanations include natural optical illusions and physical explanations, plus most chateaus have at least one ghost, likely for tourism purposes. Number 6. Dyatlov Pass Incident. In 1959, 9 Soviet hikers perished in the Ural Mountains in particularly gruesome circumstances. For some reason, they fled their tent in the night, cutting it out with a knife, in poor clothing for the temperatures.
I believe there are 2 remaining possibilities. First, and most likely, a weather-related disaster. A flash blizzard with a devastating temperature drop.
6 died from hypothermia, with the other 3 being killed by physical trauma. One's skull was destroyed, and the other 2 had chest trauma, with 2 of them missing eyes and a tongue. Many theories were proposed, like it being an animal attack, the military, or a group panic. Eventually, an investigation in 2020 revealed it was caused by a slab avalanche, which has since been confirmed by simulations. Still, it doesn't explain everything, and rescuers found no evidence of an avalanche, causing many to remain skeptical.
This is the last photo taken by the hikers before they died. It's out of focus, but it seems to show mysterious lights in the sky.
Number 5. Flannon Isles Lighthouse Mystery.
There was no shortage of theories. One, that all three had fallen into the sea while fighting over a woman. Another, that they had been killed by a sea monster.
In the Outer Hebrides of Western Scotland, the Flannon Isles Lighthouse resides. It's famous for a mysterious disappearance in 1900, when a ship, the Archtor, noticed the lighthouse was behaving unusually. Poor weather delayed the response, which found the 3 men stationed there had vanished entirely. Extensive hunts found no signs of them. No bodies washed ashore, with conditions implying they hadn't planned on leaving.
But no matter how hard he searched, the only sign of life he could find was a half-starved canary in its cage.
One theory is they left their equipment on the west landing, and then 2 went to protect it, since you'd be fined for losing equipment. When the 3rd keeper noticed a dangerous wave approaching, he went out to warn them, but ultimately all 3 perished. Or it was a sea serpent, as some of their contemporaries believed. Number 4. Green Children of Woolpit. Now for the oldest mystery on our list, coming from 12th century England. Once upon a time, in the village of Woolpit, 2 children appeared out of nowhere, speaking a foreign language with an appetite for nothing but raw broad beans. The locals taught them to eat other food, but the boy grew ill and died soon after.
They didn't care about me. They just cared about saving other children. They didn't care what happened to me.
His sister grew healthy, learned English, and told the locals they came from a peculiar world where everything was green, but it was forever twilight. Take this mystery with a massive grain of salt, since it was so long ago and little to no contemporary sources exist. Number 3. Mary Celeste.
A small crowd witnessed the launch of the shipyard's very first vessel, the trim little tall ship Amazon. Bad luck plagued her from the beginning.
The most famous maritime mystery of all time is undoubtedly the Mary Celeste. It was a merchant ship launched in 1861, which was found completely deserted in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872. Her lifeboat was missing, but was still in perfectly fine condition with the crew's personal belongings left behind. The scenario suggested an orderly evacuation, which was likely due to a miscalculated emergency.
Never finished this letter. Never ate the chicken. Looks like they left in a hurry.
It was carrying 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, with 9 of them empty. So the most popular theory is that the crew worried about leaking fumes, which made them panic, thinking an explosion was imminent. Then the lifeboat simply drifted too far or was lost in a storm.
An inquiry failed to discover what occurred. And years later, the Mary Celeste took her secrets to a watery grave.
Number 2. Roanoke colonists.
The colonists in 1587 carved out the word Croatoan on a palisade. And a palisade is a circle of what looks like telephone poles or trees that went around where the settlement was to protect them.
In 1584, the colony of Roanoke was founded, but by 1590, all settlers, unsettlingly, vanished. They suffered from poor supplies, plus the locals were unhappy with their settlement. After a supply run, they found the place empty, with nothing left but the word Croatoan scratched onto a palisade.
The Croatoans were a friendly tribe. They lived on Hatteras Island.
Conditions didn't allow for the search to go on for long, with them returning to England the same year. No signs of struggle imply the starving colonists assimilated with the local Croatoan people. This is supported by tales of blue-eyed English-speaking Native Americans being spotted in the region. Still, many remain skeptical, with some theories saying it was a Spanish attack or an otherworldly spirit.
Thou shalt hang. I shall live, as we all shall when we travel inland.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. The Dancing Plague of 1518. There have been many incidents of dancing mania throughout history, but the outbreak in Strasbourg in 1518 is easily the most famous. Between 50 and 400 people danced for weeks, starting with a woman called Frau Trophia. Numerous dancers died due to exhaustion, heart attacks, and starvation. One theory is that it was food poisoning caused by a psychoactive grain. Many refute this idea, instead claiming it was stress-induced psychosis caused by mass famine and illness.
Gravure emblématique datant du XVIe siècle montre comment un médecin extrait les idées noires de l'esprit d'un patient. À défaut de cette machine, les Strasbourgeois de 1518 auraient utilisé la danse comme moyen exutoire.
When someone began dancing, others thought it was a curse or a form of divine punishment. Thus, they were compelled to join in. This is supported by its stopping through a spiritual cure at the shrine of St. Vitus. Which historical mystery creeps you out the most? Leave it in the comments below.
I imagine the dances to resemble any other ecstatic dance. Somewhat wild, somewhat constantly moving.